Center notes. Hello? All right, so I have Masterclass open. I have it recording. And then I have my notes open as well. All right. Okay, hi everyone, welcome. We're gonna get started in around 5 minutes or so. So right now, get like a glass of water, go to the restroom, and we're gonna get started in a little bit here. All right, we're just gonna give a couple more minutes here for some last minute people to join, and then we're gonna get started with today's masterclass. Alright, so it's right about 6 p.m. EST now, or 3 p.m. for the PST people. So we're going to get started. So hi everyone, I'm Upset Max. I am a Challenger TFT coach for C9TG. Today we're going to be going over our How to Maintain Tempo Masterclass as our first week of the C9 gym. So very exciting stuff. Thank you for coming out to the TFT session. And before we get started, is there any questions about anything about the TG gym, about the TFT section, anything at all? All right. Oh, we have one. Okay. All right. So throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, just feel free to either message them in the masterclass questions, or you can unmute your mic, ask it, we'll discuss it, and yeah. All right. So let's get straight into it then. So like I said, today is about how to maintain tempo. So our table of contents right here, we have some sections. So the first one, we're just going to do a quick introduction to tempo, talk about what it is, how to do it, how it affects the game, how the game affects it. And then we're going to talk about each stage and how tempo affects that. So stage 2, items and levels. Stage 3, our general game plan. And stage 4 plus, so it includes stage 5, 6, maybe even 7, how to spike. At the end, we're going to have a little bit of practice what we learn, and then a little bit of reflection plus Q&A. Okay, so the first one, introduction to tempo. Let's get straight into it. All right, so before I move on to the slide, I'm going to ask you guys, what is tempo in your own words? So throughout this presentation, there's going to be a lot of like interactive examples where I'll be asking questions and we'll be trying to like analyze and decipher stuff as a group. So if anyone has any idea what tempo is in TFT, I would love to hear your answer here. You can
tempo be considered the pace of the game?
Yeah, okay, you're correct. So Renox, you're correct to the pace of the game. And I think I also saw some, oh, here we go. So I thought I saw some, an answer in text. Oh, there's a chat. Oh yeah, maintaining gold/win by Hazel Fion. Yeah, so you guys are both correct. Renox, you said maintaining the pace of the game. Hazel Fion, you said maintaining gold/win. And you guys are both correct. So Renox's answer about the pace of the game is more general. And Hazel Fion's answer about maintaining gold/win is talking more about high tempo. So the way I would categorize tempo is the average board strength of the game, because that's what affects tempo the most in TFT. So it's like the rhythm of the game or the pace of the game. And basically, it's about using your items and gold to change the tempo, because your items and gold relate to strength. So everybody's correct here, great answers, and that is what tempo is. So let's get into the first part, which is what is high tempo. So Hazel Fion, you gave an example of high tempo. So maintaining gold, maintaining the win, that relates to win streaking, and that's high tempo. So let's talk about what it is. So high tempo is basically when the pace of the game is fast. Now, this tempo can be achieved by win streaking. So if you're win streaking, you're trying to make your board as strong as possible. You're increasing the strength of the average board in your lobby. So what does this mean, right? So let's say the average board of the lobby is strong. That means that all 7 other players, they're gonna have to either meet that level or go higher, or else they're going to lose. So that forces them to have to play faster. And by play faster, I don't mean speed, I mean like strength wise. So they're gonna have to like strengthen their board, they're gonna have to level, they can't greed as hard, they have to slam items. That all comes from increasing the tempo of the game. So like I said, win streaking is an example of it. So you can do this by pre-leveling. You can aggressively level, you can aggressively roll to maintain this win streak, you can slam early items. Other examples of high tempo plays is holding pairs. And this all relates to sacrificing gold for power, right? Because if you think about it, leveling and rolling, that uses gold, and that translates into power. So that's what high tempo is. So we have a little picture here of the win streak. So let's say you're on a 5+ game win streak, you're getting 3 gold per extra round. That will give you more gold to either roll, level, maintain that win streak. It's like rich get richer, the strong get stronger, and you're just pushing the pace of the game faster and faster. And that forces everybody else to have to keep up, or else they're going to be left behind. All right, so now we talked about what high tempo is. Let's talk about when it is. So with high tempo, there's generally 2 types of influences in the game. So the first one is individual influence. So how can you as a player affect the tempo of the game? Well, you can do this by win streaking. So if you have potential to win streak, so this means if you have a combat augment on stage 1-4 that you get, let's say like Knife's Edge or something, that will give you a potential to win streak. If you have slammable early items, you have 2 star and /or strong units and synergies. That means you have a strong board, you have strong items, you have strong combat. This means that you can win streak, which will increase the average strength of the board in the lobby, and that means that you're now playing high tempo. Other examples, so external influence is prismatic lobbies. So we all love prismatic lobbies. They're exciting, but they're strong and they're fast, and numbers get skewed really hard. This increases the pace of the game too. There's also if someone cashes out mercenaries, right? Let's say they get 5 items, they get like 100 gold, 3 Nikos. Now they're making everyone have to match their level or higher, or else they're gonna lose. And it's pretty impossible because mercenaries get like a huge cash out. But you have to try to match their pace, or else you're gonna be left behind. And the last thing is multiple win streakers, because let's say you have 3 win streakers, everyone is going to be like increasing the pace of the game, trying to push harder, trying to push faster. And if you're not matching that, you're going to lose and take a lot of damage. So that is when to play high tempo. And let's talk about the pros and cons. So the pros of playing high tempo means you will have high HP because you're winning. So obviously if you're winning games or winning rounds, you're going to be dealing damage instead of taking damage, and higher HP leads to an average higher placement. If you're win streaking, you have the potential of going level 9 really fast, and you can win the lobby. And even if you low roll, which means gets very unlucky late game after all your streaking, you could still maybe top 4 just by bleeding off into a 4th. And bleeding off means, let's say you're losing every round in late game, but you have like 100 HP. That means other players are going to die to other players, and you can maybe squeeze out a top 4. So really good pros for high tempo. Now, what are some cons? Okay, you can fall very behind if you're playing high tempo and not win streaking. So for example, let's say you're on like an 8 game win streak, okay? 8 or 9 game win streak, you're looking to push 7. You're like, okay, I want to go level 7. I really want to push it. Max says go high tempo. And you push level 7, right? Because you want to continue winning, but you lose. So now let's say you're like 10 gold, you lost your win streak, and now everyone else is at 50 gold, they're making a ton of money, they're trying to go level 8, and now you're stuck. So you can fall very behind if you don't maintain your win streak. You have to slam items, so you don't always get BIS, which is best in slot. You'll have low gold generation without win streak, and you have low priority on carousel, because you'll have a high HP and you'll be last pick. So those are the pros and cons of high tempo. We're going to look at a play here that I'm doing, and then on the left here is what happens in the play. So let's take a look first. Okay, there's no volume, so don't worry about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the play first. I'm going to ask in the group after if anyone has any idea of what was done, why it was done, and then we'll go over exactly what happened here. So while you're watching, take a look at my HP, take a look at my streak, take a look at my gold, take a look at the HP of other players. Okay, so that's the clip. I'm gonna replay the first 10 seconds again, once again, because this is the most important part. So I'm gonna pause it here, take a look. Okay. We're gonna play it again. I'm gonna pause it on my board before I level. All right, so I'm gonna first explain what's going on. So in this clip here, I aggressively leveled. This ensured my win streak. This helped me save HP. This means I deal more damage, and I get gold from win streak. Now, does anyone else in this VC here have any opinions on why I leveled, what leveling exactly does, what I ended up doing with that level? Just any comments about this high tempo play? Okay, I see someone typing here. And remember, no answer is a wrong answer. There are just more optimal ones, but always try to speak your mind. Okay, so I don't really know, but I think it was so you had more units on the board, aka more power. Yeah, so Zenghis, you're right. So right here, I'm win streaking, and I want to increase my power and ensure my win streak. So I leveled up, I put an extra unit on my board, which is the Vex, and that means I have more power. I'm just going to give one more example here, or one more extra detail. My backline is very strong. I have a Syndra with 3 items, and I have 6 Scholar, which means everyone is going to be casting really often. So that means I just want to have as much frontline as possible. So that's why I put another frontline unit. So good job. Hazel Fion says, was it from scouting your next board? Yes, you're also correct. So the second place person here, the fire indicates a win streak. So they're thinking the exact same thing as me, where it's like, okay, I'm win streaking, I want to maintain this, I'm trying to push as hard as I can. And then they're going to see my board and be like, wow, this guy's also win streaking, he's trying to maintain his, and only one person has to win, one person has to lose, right? So I scouted that board, and I decided, okay, I'm going to level, put in extra units, and then I'm going to try to beat them. And if you look here, I'm just going to play it like this. Right now I'm at 53 gold. When I level, if I win, I'm going to go to 38, and then I can sell Syndra for 2 gold, which means I can end off at 40, and this play only costed me 1 gold, because I went from 50 to 40. So this play was high tempo play, very effective. As you guys saw, I won, I kept my win streak, and I'm pretty sure I went fast 9 this game. Okay, so that's a high tempo play. Let's look at what low tempo is now. So we found out what high is. Let's take a look at what low is. So low is the opposite. We are now lose streaking. Okay. We want to maintain as much gold as possible, which means that we can sell pairs, we can sell units to make interest. We're eventually going to be rolling on level 8 on stage 4 with all this gold, and we're going to be passively leveling on correct intervals, which means that we're going to be leveling when it's most optimal and not pushing levels, not anything. So the best way to think about it is high tempo is save HP, sacrifice gold. Low tempo is sacrifice HP, save a lot of gold. Okay, so when to play low tempo? Once again, it's basically the same tempo analysis as high tempo, just opposite. So we have individual and external. So individual influence. If your early game board is weak, if it's more optimal to lose streak, if you have an economic augment or late game augment, if you get gold instead of an extra item from minion round, that means, okay, I'm going to be looking for lose streak and just making as much money as I can. Weak board or Yordle start. Yordle start. That means that you're just trying to make money. Your combat power is not very high, and this decreases the average board strength in the lobby. External influences, if there's not a lot of combat augments in the lobby, if there's people who are going a lot of calculated loss, treasure trove, mercenary, or sorry, this multiple win streaker should not be here, but that's when to play low tempo, is if the overall average board is weak and you're able to get away with it. Okay, so now we're talking about the pros and cons. So pros, you have the potential to spike really hard late game. You're saving up all this gold, and then late game on level 8, you have so much gold to roll, and you can spike really hard potentially. You have an easier time to find best in slot items, which is best in slot BIS just means the best combination, because you're low HP, so you'll always have carousel priority. And last but not least, you'll be optimizing your gold generation and just making an insane amount of money. Cons, you're going to be low HP, danger zone, you're going to be getting hit, you're going to be losing, and that means that you really have to secure your spot later. if you low roll your late game, so let's say you bank everything on a stage 4 roll down, but you don't hit anything good and you're already at like 30 HP, you're probably going to bot 4 because there's very little room for error. So high tempo is playing for a top 4, low tempo is playing for either a first or 8th. So a lot riskier of a move here. So let's take a look at a low tempo play. All right. So I'm not going to explain what happens here. I'm going to talk about what the benefits are on the slide, but just take a look here and try to figure out what I'm doing. All right. And then this is the board I end up facing. And I'll give you a hint. I lose here by maybe 1 or 2 units. So what do you think just happened in this clip? I'll replay the most important part once again for like 10 seconds. Okay, does anyone have any suggestions or any ideas? Okay, we have someone typing. You scouted around and then decided to swap up your units based off that, and you made an assassin pair. Yes, so that is what I did initially. You see here, I actually ended up selling the Talon as well. So I'm looking around, I'm selling, and then I sell the Talon, or at least I take it off. So you are right, where I did scout around and I'm analyzing the strength of other boards, and I'm swapping up my units. However, the biggest thing here that we need to look at is, number 1, I'm on a 2-loss streak. So this means I want to continue that loss streak, make as much money as I can, and I'm sacrificing HP for money. So this 2-star castle in here, that's 3 gold. So I could sell that for interest. Okay, so I secure the interest part, so I'm getting 1 extra gold. Then as I'm looking around, yes, I do have an assassin pair, but I want to make sure I lose. So that's why I end up scouting around, and I end up not playing the assassin here. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to make as much money as possible. I'm trying to make as much interest as possible. I'm sacrificing HP for gold, and now all this gold will let me spike hard later. So the main 2 parts that you need to take from this spot is high tempo is sacrificing gold for HP and power. Low tempo is sacrificing, oh sorry, I think I got it, I said the wrong thing. So high tempo is sacrificing gold for HP and power. Low tempo is sacrificing HP for gold. Okay, let's continue. All right, so this now is going to be an example scenario. So I'm not going to be telling you guys what's going on. So take a look here. You guys might recognize this player. It's Cloud9 Soju. And yeah, we're going to take a look and try to figure out if this is a high tempo or a low tempo play, and then explain why. All right. Okay, it's not going full screen, but hopefully it's big enough so you can see. All right. And then if you're just curious, we could see what board he's up against. And just combat wise, this is a win. Okay, so do we think this is a high tempo play, a low tempo play, and why? Can you play one more time? Yep, of course. I'll commentate a little bit over it as well. I'm not giving any hints, but I'm just going to explain what's going on. So right now, we're looking for units, trying to decide what we want to play. Okay, we level to 4 here. Okay, we're still deciding what units we want to play. Okay, 3 Hextech, 2 Arcanist. Our augments is Cybernetic Uplink, which means that units with items get X amount of 8 mana per second. I think it's 3 or 5 mana per second. And then this leads to a win. Okay, rushed level and units so fast. Yes, so that is what he did. So he leveled up and he put in some units. High. Okay, so Hazel Fion, why do you think this is a high tempo play? So try to remember the conditions that we talked about earlier, which defines whether or not you should play high or whether or not you should play low. Any ideas? He's sacrificing gold for a win. Yep. Okay, so it looks like we came to a group decision here. So the answer here is high. He's playing high tempo here because 1, he has a combat augments, which helps him win streak early. 2, he has a 2-star Jarvan. He has pretty decent synergies. He has items to put on his units to activate the combat augment. He has gold to level up. So Shiny Leafeon, that you're 100% correct. He is sacrificing gold for a win here. A low tempo play would be like staying level 3, selling units to try to make 10 gold so he can make interest, and then lose streaking stage 1. But here he's trying to win streak. So good job, everyone. You're correct. That's a high tempo play. And that was the first part. That was an introduction to tempo. So now let's get a little bit more specific. We're going to be talking about stage 2 specifically. So items and levels is for stage 2. All right. So let's look at the very top here. So stage 1 minion drop scenarios plus stage 2 tempo strategy. As soon as you load into the game of TFT, you're in minion round. You're facing the minions. They're either going to drop money or gold, I should say gold. They're either going to drop gold or they're going to drop items. And that will help you figure out what to do on stage 2. So our 2 examples here, we can either get 2 items and gold. So then what this means that we should slam an item on 2-1. We can pre-level to level 4, and we're looking to play high tempo. So this is the first scenario where we get regular amount of items, we get gold to level up. This is the normal spot. The second option is we only get 1 item component and we get a lot of gold. So because we're down that 1 item component, we're not as strong as the other players who have 2, and we got gold instead. So this means we want to play low tempo and just try to make as much gold as possible. So in this case, we would not pre-level to 4, we try to make interest, so 10 gold, and we do not need to slam, or we should not slam any items. Okay, so common stage 2 item slams. We have Sunfire Cape, we have Last Whisper. Other slams on stage 2 can be like Bramble Vest, Warmogs, aura items such as Zeke's and Chalice, Rabadon's, Luck of Solari. These are item slams that you can do on stage 2 that will help you win streak. If you have combinations that don't really make these items, then I would suggest going for low tempo and not going for a win streak. Okay, so let's go through an example here. This is not the scenarios yet where I'll be asking you guys what's going on. I'll be explaining. So right here we have a high tempo stage 2-1 board. So this means that we had just finished the minion round. We're trying to decide whether we want to win or lose for stage 2. Okay, here are high tempo conditions. We have 3 item components plus a slammable items. I'm going to be leveling to 4. We have a combat augment, weak spot here, which means that we ignore a little bit of their armor and do healing reduction, and we're trying to win streak. So let's take a look at what's going on. Okay, It looks like the full screen does not work anymore. I'll make it a little higher quality. Okay, and then I'll replay it. Okay, so right now I'm deciding on what I want to do. Right now I have Talon Pair, I have a 2-star Alawi. Trying to see if I could fit in the solution. I don't think I can, so I sell it. I level, I pick up Cassidon Pair, and then I just put in a Cassidon. So on my board, I still have forms of damage, which is Talon. I have forms of tank, which is Alawi and Cassidon. And then the item I'm going to slam here is Frozen Heart, because I have Tier and I have Chain, which means that I won't really be using those item components on my carry, because my carry is going to be doing 80 damage. I'm going to put like bows and swords on them, so I'm going to slam this item. So this is a high tempo play. I'm trying to win streak here. I win this round. The conditions you want to look for is if you get dropped a regular amount of items, so 3 item components in total as you're going to stage 2. If you have a slammable item, you want to level to 4, try to win streak, and if you have a combat augment, that will help you win streak here. So this is an example of a high tempo board. Let's look at a low tempo board. Okay, so this is Setsuko. He's rank 1 NA, and let's see what he does in a low tempo situation. Okay, I'm gonna increase the quality. Then I'm gonna see if I can make this full screen. Okay. That's odd. Okay, sorry, the full screen is not working right now. So we'll just have to watch it. We will just have to watch it from here, but I will increase the quality so it's easier to see. All right, here we go. Once again, I'm going to commentate on what's going on here. So right now, we took Rich Got Richer, okay? We have 23 gold already, since it drops 14. We have a 2-star Ezreal, we have Sword, Belt, and Tier. So we don't really have great slammable items, but we can maybe make a Zeke's conversion here. Ezreal, Darius 1, and Blitz 1, so our board is pretty weak. We end up slamming the Zeke's Herald and the Tier. So this allows us to maybe kill 1 or 2 units. And this is a low tempo play. So we're looking to lose streak stage 2. We're trying to make 70 gold as fast as possible. And we're staying level 3. So those are our conditions, and our priority is gold here. All right, so these are some examples. Now let's look at some scenarios. So it is now your guys' turn to figure out whether or not this stage 2 should be a high or a low tempo play. Okay, let's dive right into it. Increase the quality. See if full screen works. Full screen does not work. Okay. So take a look at what's going on here. Look at my items, look at my augments, look at the units I'm trying to play. Try to figure out, am I trying to win streak? Am I trying to lose streak? Am I trying to play high tempo? Am I trying to play low tempo? All right, let's see what items I slam. Do I slam any items? Okay. And then from this spot, just like based off board wise, this is a guaranteed win. So do you think this is a high tempo play or a low tempo play, and why? So we're looking specifically at stage 2-1 conditions here. Does anyone have any ideas? Okay, no worries, I can answer this one. So this is a high tempo play. I have level to 4, I'm trying to win streak. My augment doesn't help immediately because it's Scholar Heart and I have 3 scholars regardless. But I do slam a blue buff, which is a good slam item, and then I put the extra glove on there to win. So I'm trying to win here all of stage 2, and this is a high tempo play. Okay, let's continue. The next one is going to be talking about stage 3. So far we talked about introduction. What is tempo? What type of tempos are there, and how do they affect our game? We talked about stage 2, which is, okay, based off our drops from stage 1 and early game, are we looking to try to win stage 2, or are we looking to try to lose stage 2. Then stage 3 comes, right? So ideally at this point, we either have 5 win or we have 5 lose. That's your ideal spot. Either way, you're going to have a good amount of gold, and you're either going to be at 100 HP or maybe 70. Okay. Stage 3. Are we looking to play a high tempo or low tempo on stage 3? So high tempo conditions. Let's say you're continuing to win streak, right? You have won all 5 rounds of stage 2. What happens if you lose some and win some though? Okay, so that is a great question. At that point, okay, I'll get into that, I think maybe on the next slide. But that is a great question, Zangies. Sometimes the optimal situations do not always occur. Because optimally, you want to win 5, you want to lose 5. But sometimes it's a win-loss, win-loss, win. And you're not very rich. Your board is somewhere in the middle because that means it's not overly strong, it's not overly weak, and you're just kind of in the middle. So I'll explain what happens to that in a little bit. So let's say you're getting into stage 3 and you want to play high tempo. This means that you're still win streaking, so you could go level 6 on 3-1. If you have 3 costs or important pairs, you want to roll on 3-2 from leveling. If you get from leveling to 6 on 3-2, you want to try to get a combat augment. Well, everyone should actually try to get a combat augment for 3-3. And you have a slammable items for Krugs. So it's similar to stage 2. If you're still winning, you're still looking to win, you want to push your levels, you want to slam, you want to roll to get 2 stars on 3-2 just for their 3 costs, and high tempo, win, average power increase. Yeah. Low tempo is if you're still lose streaking. You can continue to keep yordles in, you're focusing on economy, but you still go level 6. However, you go level 6 on stage 3 round 2, since that is what the perfect interval is, because levels go up in 4. So if you're, say, 16 out of 20, you only have to level once, and it's a good spot. If you get an economic/scaling augment from 3-3 as your only options, then you're still looking to continue to low tempo. And if you also have no slammable items or only Krugs, gold from Krugs, you want to also play low tempo stage 3. Alright, so I'll explain now. So let's say, Zengis, your question was, you win some and you lose some. Okay, so let's say you're the worst scenario. You have win, loss, win, loss, win. Okay, so that means that your board is around the average power level of the lobby. You don't have that much gold. So that means on 3-1, because you're not win streaking, you don't want to level. Okay, on 3-2, you want to level to 6, and you want to roll if you have important pairs, but if you don't, then you just sit. So at this point, if luck comes your way, then you can take it and start streaking. So when I say luck, let's say you get a 3 cost 2 star just out of the blue without rolling. Then you can try to look to win streak. But at this point, you're just sitting through stage 3, focusing on economy. Because stage 2 economy wasn't great, because you like win, loss, win, loss. Stage 3, you just want to focus on economy, and you'll probably beat the loose streaker, low tempo players. You'll probably lose to the high tempo conditioners, but you're going to be someplace in the middle. The reason why I wouldn't pick to either win streak or lose streak if you're in the middle is because, well, you probably won't be able to lose streak because your board is like stronger to them, and you won't be able to win streak without spending more gold. So stage 3 is you kind of just float on by, making as much money as you possible, and you try to spike on stage 4. That's what happens when you lose some and you win some. Okay, let's look at some examples now. So I'm going to talk over this. We're playing high tempo on stage 3 now. Okay, so remember, win streaking. If you're win streaking, keep pushing tempo, keep trying to win, slam some items. So let's take a look what happens here. Okay, so it's 3-1 now. I level to 6 because I'm on a 5 win streak. I want to continue winning and pushing that streak. I have a combat augment, which is Woodland Charm. Creates a copy of my highest HP units, and it gives them 1800 health. I have a pretty strong board here. I have yordles in as well, which means I'm making a lot of money. And I'm going to slam an item, which is Warmogs. I also put a chain for a little bit more stats. Also put I think I put a glove on the Gnar. No, I don't. I put a rod on the Lucian. I don't want, actually I do slam the Jewel Gauntlet. So I'm slamming items. I leveled up. I'm trying to play high tempo. I'm trying to beat the other win streaker, and I end up doing it. I continue, and we're pushing the other players to have to play higher tempo, or else they're just going to lose. Okay, let's look at an example of a low tempo board now. So once again, it's 3-1, but now we're lose streaking. Okay, we got gold from Krugs, not items, and we have a weak board. So in this spot, we don't want to level 3-1. We just let it play, try to kill as many as you can. We just want to focus on economy. So you see here, I did not level to 6. I'm going to sell something to try to make econ to 40, and we're kind of just getting through stage 3, making as much money as possible while staying as healthy as possible, and waiting for a roll down on stage 4. Okay, so now we made it to stage 4. So a quick recap just through the stages. Stage 2, either 5 win or 5 lose ideally. Okay. Stage 3, if you're winning, continue to win. Push levels, slam items, win. If you're losing, continue to lose. If you're somewhere in the middle, just float along, killing as many as you can. If you get lucky and you get a ton of strong units, play them. Maybe you can try to win streak. If you don't, that's okay, don't roll. Stage 4 is where your out is going to be. And by out, I mean like kind of your savior, okay? Stage 4, spike options. There are 2 options to spike on stage 4. Stage 4 round 2 or stage 4 round 5. Stage 4 round 2, you want to spike here is if you're really rich, if you still have, or if you have very low HP, so if you're 1 life or below, hopefully this is not the case, but if you have to spike or else you're going to die, you level up to level 8 on 4-2. Oh, I should make that specific. At this point, you're leveling to level 8 on either 4-2 or 4-5. What would count as very rich? So I think at this point, you would want to be rolling around 30 gold. It takes 56 gold to go from 7 to 8. So let's say 4-2 comes around and you level up to 8. If you would still have 30 gold left, then I would say you can level up on 4-2. If not, you should wait 2 more rounds till 4-5, and then you could roll down with 30, 40 gold. Because if you level up too early and you don't have a lot of gold to roll down, then you don't have enough money to hit any 2 stars, and you've spiked right away because you put in an extra unit, but other players are going to be rolling a lot more, getting 2 stars, and 2 stars will beat that extra unit that you put in. So that's the 4-2 conditions. It's playing high tempo on stage 4, but you have a lower spike. If you're very rich, if you're low HP with 1 life, or just low HP in general, and if your comp doesn't require 2 stars to spike. So for example, if you have like 5 hex tech and you're just looking for 1 sivir, then you could go 4-2 and you look for 1 sivir. If you're playing innovators, you have 4 innovators, you're looking for Seraphine, then you spike and you look for 1 Seraphine. You don't necessarily need the 2 star in order for the team to work well. The other option is to go level 8 on 4-5. So this is playing low tempo on stage 4 up until 4-5 because you're going to spike. You do this if you're poor to medium economy. So that means if you were to level up to 8, you wouldn't have around 30 gold to roll. You can do this if you're healthy HP because 2 more losses from like 70, 60 HP isn't a big deal. And you do this if your comp requires 2 units to spike. So if you're playing Jhin, if you're playing Draven, if you're playing Ahri, then you're going to need these 2-star unit carries in order to strengthen your board. Okay, stage 5 spike options. Stage 5-1, you could do a late level to 8. This only happens if you're very poor. This happens if you had to roll on level 7 on 4-1 because your board was so weak. And this is low tempo after 4-5 because enemies are going to spike at 4-5, they're going to spike at 4-2, and this is a rough spot. You're going to get hit, and you'd only level to 8 on 5-1 is if you're really poor and you had to roll on stage 4, or else you're going to take 15 damage per round. This is not optimal, but this is one of the scenarios that might happen. Okay, the other scenario is like the best case scenario. Stage 5-2 or 5-5, you could go level 9. So let's say you're win streaking all throughout stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, you're incredibly rich, right? On stage 5, you could go level 9. If you have around 30 gold to roll, do it. You're going to hit legendary units. you're going to start winning, and you're in a really good spot. A regular 9 would be on 5-5 after carousel, and this just gives you, once again, more gold to roll. You have a higher chance of hitting 2 stars, and this is a low tempo play until you spike. So I'm just going to reiterate because this was a lot. Level 8 on 4-2 or 4-5. Okay, 4-2 is rich, 4-5 is poor to medium. You can also go level 8 on 5-1 as if you're very poor, because you have to wait until after Raptors to get that little bit of extra money. You could go level 9 on 5-2 or 5-5 if you're incredibly rich. Okay, so let's look at some examples now. So we're in stage 4+, we're looking at spikes. Okay, so examples I explained through. So our conditions here for a fast 8. I already have Silver 2, which means I don't need money to roll. I'm really rich. Okay, I have a Nico's help, which means that I only need to find one more. I need only find a second copy, and then I could just Nico, and that'll give me a 2-star. My backline is really strong, so I want to level and put in an extra frontline unit. And if I do this by leveling on 4-2, I could streak all the stage 4. So let's take a look what happens here. I'm gonna make it a little nicer. See if full screen works. It does not. Okay. So my board is really strong. Even though I'm breaking the rule of not having like 40 gold to roll, I'm only looking for one unit. I'm looking for one Alistar, and if not, I can just place another unit to strengthen my board. I can play it one more time. So if you look here, I have a Silver 2. Okay, I have really good items on here. I have a solid front line, and I have a Nico's help. So living here, 36, I have a little less than 20 gold to roll. Worst case scenario, I just put in a Braum, which is what I do, because I just want to put in an extra front line. I have enough damage, I just need to stall. So this is when I would do high tempo. Also, I'm 3 streaking right now, which means that I can get this gold back from win streaking on stage 4, and I could potentially go 9 once I find an Alistar too. Okay, so that's a high tempo play. Now let's look at a low tempo play. So I'm going to level 8 on 4-5. So let's take a look at my spot on 4-2. Okay, so 4-2 is the option for fast 8, right? Look at my gold and look at how much XP I need. 12 and 56, I need 44 gold. Wait, I'm okay. Yeah, I need 44 gold to get to level 8. So 61 minus 44, I have less than 20 gold to roll. And if you look at my board, I only have Silver 1. Okay, I don't have any other 4-cost unit. What I'm playing here is Yordles as well. So if I level here, I'm incredibly poor. I'm going to hit maybe one Braum, maybe one Alistar, but I'm nowhere close to 2-star units. The rest of my board is bad. I have no gold to roll. So what I end up doing is I wait till 4-5 because I'm very healthy. Okay, 76. Let's say I lose 2 more rounds. Okay, let's say I take heavy losses. I'm at 50 gold. 50 gold is, or 50 HP is not a big deal if I can start winning. Oh no, I can't go full screen. That was my plan. Renox, do you have any ideas here? Oh, okay, we got it. Okay, thank God. All right. So this is me going 4-5. Okay, so now I was at 12 out of 56. Now I'm at 36 out of 56, which means I only need 20 gold to level, and I have 44 gold to roll. So I level here, and I can hit almost everything. So I find Orianna 2, I have Vi pair, I'm looking for Silvers, I get Braum 2, I have Silver pair now, I have Aurelia pair, there's Jhin pair potentially, and I hit so much here, right? And I end up playing 4 scrap. I have a decent board. I have Braum 2, Orianna 2, Silver with good items, Aurelia, Vi. So compare this board with this board. It's night and day. It is incredibly stronger. And if we look at my HP, I was at 54, right? So I only lost, what, 22 HP? That's okay, 76 to 54. And my board is infinitely stronger. So really rich, you could go 4-2. If you're poor to medium, you should wait till 4-5 to go level 8. Okay, let's go over some practice and then we have some time for questions. So Should this player play high tempo or low tempo, and why? Okay, I think I figured it out. I need to go out of here, and then I can go full screen. All right, so let me pause here. Is this a high tempo or a low tempo, or should I play high tempo or low tempo here? Just pausing it right here. So something to think about. Am I trying to win? Am I trying to lose? Do I have the capability to win? Do I not? What would I do here? It looks like a low tempo play. Yeah, you're correct. Do you have any reason why you would think that this would be low tempo? The lost streak, not really the best items on the augment. Yeah, so the augment choice here is not very great. I don't think I was given very good options, and underdogs was the best one. But it does not really do that much in my comp. I'm already on a 2-loss streak, so I can try to continue that for stage 3. And you're right, I do not have the best items here. I think I slam a shiv, and then I'm just sitting. So my board is not great. I don't really have a lot that I can do. So I don't level to 6. I continue to loss streak, and I'm just playing for level 8. So I'm trying to make as much money as I can while saving HP, and we're hopefully trying to get to level 8. Okay, let's keep going. So that was scenario 1. Let's look at the next scenario. Okay, so scenario 2, high tempo or low tempo? Let's take a look. All right, so I'm gonna pause it right here before we get into stage 3. Should I look for high tempo here, or should I look for low tempo, and what should I do? I want to say high tempo. Okay, why do you want to say high tempo? Because you haven't lost yet? Okay, so win streak. Okay, so you think high tempo. Why? Because I'm on win streaking. So what would I do? So take a look at my gold, take a look at my level, take a look at my items. What should I do to try to play high tempo? Level to 6. Yes, you, Zangies, you're 100% correct. So I got level to 6 here. I put in Echo, which will give me 4 scrap plus Innovator. I can slam my Eternal Winter, which I've been using since stage 2. I just sold a unit. And then I can even put some scrap items on my 2 remaining scrap units. So I could put a Cloak on Aurelia, a Chain on Echo, try to get Bloodthirster or Frozen Heart. And my board is now insanely strong. I can continue to win. So compare this board with this, right? So that's why it's better to, if you're winning, if you want to play high tempo, continue doing it, push, and keep the streak going. All right, I think we're at our end here. So now we have a little bit of time for Q&A. I'll do a quick wrap up before we get into your questions. So today we talked about how to maintain tempo at all stages of the game. We talked about what tempo is. We talked about the 2 types, so high tempo and low tempo. Generally, when you think high tempo, you think a win streak. You're increasing the average strength of the board, or sorry, you're increasing the average strength of the board in the lobby, which means that people have to meet your level or else they're going to lose. This is win streaking, this is pushing levels, this is slamming items, and you're playing for top 4. Then there's low tempo. You don't have a great start, you're looking to sacrifice HP for gold, and you're looking to spike hard later on level 8. We talked about on stage 2, okay, figure out, do I want to win streak or lose streak? High tempo or low tempo? Stage 3 comes. Okay, do I want to continue to play high tempo? Do I have to play low tempo here? Do I just have to sit in the middle and wait for stage 4? Stage 4 comes, we have to all in on either 4-2 or 4-5. Then stage 5, we could try to go level 9 on 5-2 or 5-5. So that is what we talked about today, broken down. Does anyone have any questions about anything here? So Zengis, Shiny Leafeon, if you have any questions, you can either unmute your mic, ask them. You could type it in the Masterclass chat. We have some time to answer anything, preferably related to this class. But if it's something else, I can also help you out. All right, so it looks like, we might have something here. I don't really have any questions. Okay, no problem. So thank you both for coming. There is a feedback form that I would love if you guys could fill it out. I can link it here.
Also in Masterclass questions.
Oh, Masterclass questions. Okay, perfect. So yes, if you guys can make your way over to Masterclass questions. If you can't find it, I'll also not link it in the chat because I do not have permissions. So it is in the text channel Masterclass questions. If you can fill out the Masterclass feedback form, that'd be great. Lets us know what went well, what didn't go well, anything we can change so we make your experience next week and the following weeks even better. While you're doing that, I am also doing a VOD review in 10 minutes, so 7 p.m. EST. We're going to be VOD reviewing North America's a North American player who played in the World Finals, which just finished this past weekend. They ended up placing 4th internationally, and it was quite a crazy game. So we're going to go take a look at that in 10 minutes. You're more than welcome to stick around and review that with us, and that will be in around 10 minutes. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. Yeah, so if you attended the class today, be sure to fill out the form, and we'll see you soon, hopefully. See you in 10 minutes, and thank you for the class. Yep, no problem.